Hey guys, so I made $1,200 on Depop in the last day, and I'm gonna share everything that I sold. This is my unit behind me with all of my items, shipping out our orders for today. So I'm just gonna bring you guys through everything that sold. I'm gonna give you guys some tips, some keywords, and why what I sold. So yeah, let's get into it. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm 888 Vintage. I'm a top seller on Depop. Here's some of my stats. We've had some good weeks. I've hit top 14, nothing insane, but I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to this sort of stuff. I have some experience, been doing this for a while now, and as you can see, we have tons of items in here. Business is good, man. But let's get into the video. We're gonna run through some of the sales, man, like I promised. Let's get into it. I packed up the first couple ones already, so I do not have the pictures of the exact items that sold right away right in my hand, but I'll just pop up a picture on the screen for y'all, that way y'all can see what I sold. But the first thing is this kind of just this Y2K tee, Jesse Pinkman vibes, Y2K skater. Those are the keywords that I used to sell this item. The next one that we got is this LEI Ashley low-rise boot cut jeans, size 9, blue, stretch, Y2K, mid-wash denim. Good keywords there. One of the reasons why I use the keyword stretch is because a lot of people who are looking for the low-rise, the boot cuts, the flares, they're looking for a little bit of stretch on the waist. I included that. I included keywords like Y2K. The next sale, this is a 3-item bundle. This is the last one that I packed up. We got a Timberland sweatshirt, we have a Corvette tapestry, and then we sold a Marlboro fleece, Timberland weather gear sweatshirt, XL, gray 90s, Y2K logo, crew neck, Gorpcore, granola. These are some good aesthetics for that. And then for the Marlboro one, we use vintage 90s Marlboro Adventure Team fleece, pullover, snap, XL, red, black. And then for aesthetics, I put Gorpcore, Y2K, streetwear, retro, hiking, motorcore, campcore, etc. If you guys want to learn about how to kind of put in those keywords, one thing that I would recommend is watching other videos on YouTube, or you could, if you want to put in the hours, go into the trenches, learn all of those different aesthetics and keywords, go into Pinterest, search up the basics, I would start with the ones that are already listed on Depop, like streetwear, retro, Y2K, Gorpcore, you know, all of the ones on Depop. I would go through those, look up them on Pinterest, identify the pieces that people are looking for. But yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling here. This one is a very beautiful sweater. I don't wear sweaters, bro. I just sell them. But like, I'm in love with this sweater. This is a Latchfords of Ireland, made in Ireland, XL. And this is what we call, my camera ran out of storage, so we're redoing this. But yeah, basically this one, very beautiful. Cable knit, fisherman knit, excellent keywords. This is like a grail sweater. Granola, Gorpcore, indie, cottagecore, all good aesthetics for this. That will get it sold ASAP. And this one literally sold in 2 hours of posting, full price, $80.88. This one is most likely going to somebody who loves Gorpcore, granola, cottagecore, aesthetics, that kind of thing. So yeah, very good sale here. Okay, and also let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos, because I can easily make them. I'm in here packing orders damn near every day. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos. I'll happily make them because I'm going to be here anyways. But I'm not going to go through every single sale just because we made a ton, and I don't want y'all to sit through like a hour-long video of me just talking. But let's keep it rolling here. Okay guys, so this next one is kind of a specialty item for me. I always get these when I see them, and this is an item that you wouldn't think sells for as much as it does, but trust me, these sell for good amounts. Had this one listed for 40, sold it for $35. Whenever people find these at the bins, I always try and buy them, just because it's one of those items that you wouldn't suspect it would sell for as much as it does, but it does. Now we're just gonna go through some keywords that I used to get this thing sold. We said vintage 90s Shenandoah dog sweater, men's large, made in USA. That's important. And then some keywords, we had embroidered, black lab dog, cream knit, textured, navy stripe trim, classic 90s outdoorsy, grandpa, dog, cottagecore, etc. And then I always put at the bottom of my listing where I have it stored. So if I have it on shelf BS1, then it's BS1, BS2, etc. So that always helps me with my shipping times. And like, if this is applicable to you and you use the shelves, some people, they put them in bags and they put a little unique number on it. That's doing too much for me. I'd rather just look at my shelf, know that BS1 has this, and then I'll put BS1L or BS1 R if it's on the left or the right. And then that literally like saves me so much time when I'm shipping. So yeah, those are some things I do. If that helps, awesome. If it doesn't, you know, we're gonna carry on here. But a good little $35 sale here. All right, guys, so this next item is something I rarely see people picking up at the bins, at the thrifts, and that is gonna be overcoats, man. Now, what inspired me to start picking up overcoats is comps on eBay. Say what you will about reselling, but I like to make money. Some people, you look at their stores and it's hard to tell if they like making money. Guys, don't be picking up $5 items that you're gonna sell on Depop. You don't want to be shipping out $5 items all day, because when you get to this scale, shipping out 20 items and only making $100, bro, it's not worth it. But right here we have a vintage Pendleton wool overcoat. What are some keywords that I use to get this to sell? Well, let's go through. For the listing, the title is Pendleton black wool overcoat, size L, Italian fabric, classic tailored long coat. And then for aesthetics that I use, we use preppy, old money, dark academia, minimalist, downtown classic American style, heritage, fall layering, Ivy League fashion, just tons of different aesthetics. That's what got my item sold. I had it listed for $50 and it sold. So good little sale here. This one sold for $40, so good little sale here. We're gonna pack this one up, get her shipped out. Also, guys, tons of people always asking me, yo, bro, where do you get your poly mailers? Dude, I have the link for my Amazon in the description. It's in all my videos where I get these. It's gonna be my Amazon storefront. Just go to reselling supplies and you'll see it. My poly mailers, you can get different colors. I like this color, but yeah. All right, guys, we're getting into the next sale that we made here, and this is gonna be that of a vintage like sweater, full zip. Guys, this is a style that sells amazingly. It's again another one of those unsuspecting styles. You might be looking at this and you're like, bro, this probably sold for like 10-15 bucks. Bro, I sold this for 32. Again, it's a little bit of a better sale. That's why I'm showing it to you guys. Better for me is anything over like $25. I would consider that to be a better sale. Just knowing my numbers, my margins, and I got to pay a guy to do my listings for me. So knowing my margins, I like to try to sell things for over $25 if I can. That's the goal. But yeah, this one sold for 32. You see a lot of old people wearing these. If you get like the wolf patterns or like the animal nature patterns, they do better. Like this one's more of a mid pattern, so that's why it sold for less. I did accept an offer. I had this one up for 40 and I took an offer for 32. Now we're gonna go through the keywords for you guys that got this item sold for me. So for the title, it was Masmania hot air balloon fleece jacket XL, made in USA, plush vintage style. And then for aesthetics, we put cabin core, granola, gore core, nature core, whimsy goth, retro outdoors, cozy winter wear, downtown eclectic, artsy wanderer, and vintage adventure aesthetics. Size XL, made in USA. Important stuff to note here. But yeah, man, good little sale here. Also, bro, I made these for my pop-ups. Little QR code that you can scan. It has all my socials, and then on the back it says tag us on Instagram. So I thought that was cool. Figured I'd show you guys because I'm excited about that. I think that's sick. But yeah, on to the next sale. All right, guys, so this next one is kind of an interesting piece. I'm still learning more about women's Y2K and that kind of aesthetic, but this one is kind of a crazy one. It is an Aeropostale vest with the little faux fur hood. Now, what are some keywords that got this sold? Title, we had Aeropostale faux fur hooded puffer vest, women's small, brown quilted outerwear. And then for aesthetics, we put coquette adjacent, granola, cottagecore, Y2K winter, outdoorsy, downtown, casual layering. Good little keywords. And guys, this one's still sold. It had a missing button right here. As you can see, there's no button and it's still sold. Like, guys, I've been telling you guys this for a long time, that it doesn't matter if there's flaws on your item because people will still buy it. I mean, look at the shirt that I'm wearing, bro. Like, it is all messed up. People don't care about that stuff, man. And like, even like something as big as a button, like, yeah, that's kind of important, but like, it still has a zipper. So like, as long as it's fully functional, like I've sold zip ups with that are missing a zipper or the zipper doesn't work, but like, obviously it's less. Now, this one sold for $22.88, full price of what I had it listed for. Like, obviously if there was a button, I could have sold it for more, but yeah. And like at the bins, somebody gave this to me because they were like, yo, it's missing a button, do you still want it? And I was like, yeah, dude, sure, I'll take it. And yeah, like I said, it sold. So my cost of goods on this is probably $2 because I paid for it by the pound. We sold it for $22.88, so like decent margin on this one. Like, obviously not as good as some of the other ones, but yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. Okay, again, guys, next one, not gonna spend a ton of time on this just because it's, again, more of a mid sale, but this one sold for $22.88. We got the V-neck cable knit pullover jumper sweater. This one's on the Field Gear tag. This one's 100% cotton, made in USA. All good things to be on the lookout for. Again, some aesthetics, preppy, old money, Ivy League, cottage core, gorp core, granola, that kind of stuff got this item sold. Next one. Okay, guys, this next one is kind of like a really, bro, how did this sell for that much? I guess not that much, but the quarter zips are really in trend right now, and I honestly don't get it. I'm not a quarter zip guy. I don't really like them that much, but no hate, we still sold this one. This is a Columbia one. This is on the Y2K tag, Columbia. Like, again, nothing crazy, but this one sold for a great price. Got this one at the bins once again, so I probably paid like $2 for it based on the weight. But yeah, dude, $23. Some aesthetics that got this one sold are this was the title, Columbia quarter zip fleece XL cotton green outdoors gore hiking pullover. And then aesthetics, we put gorecore, cabin core, granola outdoors, hiking style, norm core, vintage outdoors, cottage core, nature core, collegiate cash. But yeah, dude, that's what got this one sold. $23. Good little sale. I'm only showing you guys this sale because it's super sick and I love these mittens. I think they're so dope. But yeah, these sold for $19.88. Title for these, vintage 50s 60s USAF N4B aircrew leather shearling mittens, medium navy military flight gloves. These are insanely warm, you guys, and they are old 40s or 50s. There's a little Air Force logo on there. I don't know if you can see that because it's so dark in here, but yeah, showing you guys these ones because they're sick. $1988 sale. Yeah, somebody asked me like, yo bro, like why do you price your items like that? Guys, my favorite number is 8, so like everything is always ending in 88. But yeah, next sale. Okay guys, next sale that we made. Every time I get one of these, this is a Harley Davidson 100 years crew neck. I've probably found and sold this exact crew neck like 5 or 6 times. Every time I get it, it sells so fast. But yeah, this one sold in probably like 2 hours. $40 on this one. And then I sold this one for like 32. This is a Planet Hollywood hockey jersey. I have 10% discount bundles on my store, so they bundled and got that discount. For the Harley crew neck, the title was Vintage Harley Davidson Graphic Sweatshirt XL Black Biker Crew Neck USA. This one was made in USA. And then for aesthetics, we put Biker Grunge Skater. For aesthetics, we put Biker Grunge Skater Indie Sleeves Downtown Retro Streetwear Soft Grunge Y2K Edge. So yeah, those were the keywords that got this item to sell. And then for the Planet Hollywood, title was 90s Planet Hollywood Orlando hockey jersey black white L. And then for aesthetics, we put essentials 90s pop culture collectible and Y2K club core piece with nostalgic Planet Hollywood branding. Very cool. So we're gonna pack these ones up, get them shipped out. But yeah, man, one thing I was gonna say to you guys is that, like, bro, I would have never known in a million years that you guys would have wanted to see this type of video, me just showing what I sold. But I've gotten so many recommendations or requests on doing this, so if there's any other like types of videos you guys want to see, like, let me know. I would be happy to make them. Like, I'm literally here to make videos for you guys. That's literally my job, bro. This is my dream, literally just making videos about selling clothes. Like, it's amazing. I'm so happy to do this because I love it, bro. But yeah, if you have any other requests, bro, or like, yo, you should add this to your videos, like, just let me know, dude. Like, I'd be happy to. Okay guys, if you are in the vintage game, you probably know that vintage kids clothes is kind of a thing. People are really into it. I sold this 1978 Spider-Man on the Montgomery Ward tag. Very cool, just like a little kid sweater. It has tons of imperfections and flaws on it. Like, there's a hole here, bunch of like just messed upness on the collar, but somebody still bought this. And again, the years down there, you can see it there. But yeah, we sold this one for $25. Now, what are the keywords, you might ask, that got this item sold? We put for the title 1978 Spider-Man sweater, kids medium 8 to 12, Montgomery Ward. And then aesthetics are retro, comic book, superhero style, vintage 70s kids wear and nostalgia fashion. Again, super sick little vintage kid sweater. I had this one for like a few months, so I'm kind of glad it sold. And again, guys, this is just another example that your items do not have to be perfect. Like, this one is very flawed and it's still sold. I sell flawed items literally every day, so don't be afraid to pick an item up that has like 1 or 2 like flaws on it or whatever. You might have to sell it for a lower price, but you know, that item probably cost me like 50 cents at the bins. So 50 cents into $25.12. Pretty good sale, if you ask me. Okay, the next one I'm showing you guys is a sale that kind of makes me a little bit upset, and I'm sharing this with you guys because this would have saved me a lot of pain and effort when I first started reselling. So if you're from like the Wisconsin or Illinois area, do not buy the Illinois stuff, dude. It literally doesn't sell, bro. Like, I remember when I first started reselling, bro, like I would see everybody throwing it back and I'd be like, oh, like what's wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with it. They just don't know. And so I'd pick it up and I would list it, and it like, dude, I've literally donated back multiple of these pieces. This one came in wholesale from Road King Vintage. So this one, like I didn't buy myself, like it just happened to be in there. And that's what a lot of these like little sales are. Like I said, I try not to buy items that are $10. This one sold for 10, this one sold for 11. Little bundle action. We made $19.95 from these two items. Both are from Road King. I normally don't pick up these t-shirts. They did sell, so I'm showing them to you guys. There's a couple of other like really mid sales in here that I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm even shipping them out, but don't worry, this is the lowest one I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys do this, but like I always like look at where my packages are going. This one's going to Scranton, Pennsylvania, which if you watch The Office, and if you don't, like what are you doing? But like, bro, me and my roommates have been watching The Office like almost every night on a daily basis, and it's amazing, bro. Like I used to watch that show when I was a kid. By far my favorite show growing up. But yeah, dude, I just thought I'd have to insert that in there because let me know if you like The Office, bro, because it's the best show ever. But yeah, man. Oh, also my hats are up there. They look kind of cool in the video. I don't know. But yeah, dude, next item that we sold, this is an Eddie Bauer knit sweater, little like thermal-esque kind of pattern on it. Very cool. And one thing I really like about it is like the kind of like the stripes. That took me way too long to get out. But yeah, let's go through the keywords that got this one sold real quick. This one sold for $22. Nothing crazy. Just a good little sale. I think I got this one in wholesale for $5, I want to say. But yeah, Eddie Bauer made in USA thermal knit sweater, dark green, forest green, another way to describe this. I think I used that. Yeah, I used forest green also. For aesthetics, we put Gorbcore, Granola, Naturecore, Classic American, Normcore, Downtown, Soft, Academia, Outdoorsy, Vintage, Prep, Minimalist. Guys, sometimes you just got to keyword spam. Some people advise against it, but it works very well for me. So I'm going to keep doing it. Some people say, no, don't keyword spam, but I keyword spam and it works. So I'm going to keep doing it. But yeah, good little sale. Okay, guys, the next one, this is a sale I'm more excited about. This one, I thought this jacket was super sick, and I'm kind of glad I'm not taking it to my event because I don't think the people in my college would really have shown this much love. I think it would have appreciated it. But this is an Aztec patterned LLB in vintage wool and nylon jacket. It's got the button ups as well. What are the keywords? And this sold in a bundle, by the way. I'll show the other sweater in a minute. But yeah, the keywords I used on this one: vintage 90s, LLB and Aztec wool, jacquard jacket, women's M, brown, green, USA. And then for the aesthetics, we put vintage 90s, retro, outdoors, Gorbcore, granola, cabin core, cottagecore, naturecore, whimsy goth adjacent, and downtown cozy. Again, guys, I just keyword spam. Now, I honestly think that the people who tell you not to like aesthetic and keyword spam, they either don't know what they're talking about or they're gatekeeping. Guys, I'm not a gatekeeper, all right? I kind of just spill all the beans for y'all. But with that said, I also sold a sweater with this, so I'll show you guys that now. And okay, here's the sweater. Super little like cabin core, granola, Gorbcore style fleece. This one, the keywords we used were the title was NWT, that's the brand, Naturals Northwest Territory knit sweater, L cream, Fair Isle, 100% cotton. And then for the aesthetics, we used Gorbcore, granola, cottagecore, retro outdoors, winter cabin, downtown, whimsy goth adjacent knitwear, academia, and vintage inspired cozy core. But yeah, this one sold for $19.80, and then the jacket sold for $72. I accepted an offer for $80, and then they ended up bundling $80. I was like kind of low, but they bundled, so they got more off, which is cool. I ended up making more money. But yeah, dude, always encourage your people to do bundles, buy multiple items. You will always want to increase that average order value. Huge important thing. You don't want to be wasting your time packing $5 orders, like I said. But yeah, we're gonna pack this one up. Okay, chat, next item that we have, this very amazing striped Land's End rugby. Guys, I love selling rugbies. I think they're insane. I love having them in my store. Didn't sell this one for a crazy price. We sold this one for $16. Nothing crazy, but I just thought I'd share the sale. I like having these cool style-based items in the store because they kind of get people who like this aesthetic into your store. And then once they see like the 10% off on bundles, then they might go to your page and then buy more stuff. That's kind of the reason why I do the 10% bundle. And like when you keep a lot of the same items, like aesthetically wise, like the Gorp Core granola stuff, like all those sweaters that you saw me posting, a lot of those buyers in, and when those buyers follow your store, they see you bring other stuff of that same aesthetic. And don't get me wrong, you can be an all aesthetic kind of person. Good items will sell regardless, but I just find that it adds more soul to your store, and like it makes the game more fun. Like I love granola, Gorp Core type stuff, so I'm obviously gonna curate more towards that kind of thing. I don't know, that's just one thing I thought I'd share because it makes selling a lot more fun when you like enjoy the stuff you're selling. Okay, I know I showed a pair of these that sold earlier, but this one is the M1949 version, and this one sold for $20.88. I used different words here on this one. We put vintage US Army M1949 cold weather trigger finger mittens leather canvas, and then for styles and aesthetics, Gorp Core military surplus archive tactical prepper style hiking core rugged outdoors tech utilitarian survivalist cold weather core. Yeah dude, it's funny, I had these listed for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden both of them sell literally within hours of each other. Kind of weird how that works, but nice little sale for these. Got these at the bins, probably paid like $2, $1. All right guys, the next sale, this is more, again, another more obvious one. You see the pony, you guys know this is Polo by Ralph Lauren. It's a nice little zip up. The zip ups always do amazing. These sell so quick every time I get them, so always be picking up your Polo Ralph Lauren zip ups. This one sold for $26, and we're gonna take a look at the keywords here for y'all. For the title, we put Polo Ralph Lauren black full zip hoodie L heavyweight embroidery pony, and then for aesthetics we put preppy, old money casual, normcore, streetwear basic, college town aesthetic, soft grunge, Y2K casual, and downtown. So plenty of aesthetics that this one fits into. Always be picking up your Polo Ralph Lauren zip up hoodies. Okay guys, the next one is this one, a little bit higher of a cost at the bins. Probably paid like somewhere in the neighborhood of $15 to $20 for this item. We sold this one for $50. This is a vintage cashmere wool Italian overcoat. It's heavy, guys, very heavy. This one sold in less than a day, so again, very in trend right now if it's selling that fast. The title, I put cashmere wool Italian overcoat XXL black long coat, and then the measurements were 28 pit to pit, 49 from the shoulder down to the bottom. For the aesthetics, we put old money Regency core, dark academia, downtown, mob, 90s, supermodel glam, winter chic, romantic academia, and classic menswear heritage. Made in Italy fabric, but it was made in Indonesia. People honestly care more about the fabric quality than the region it's made. So if the fabric is made in Italy or USA or somewhere like that, it's still good. But yeah, this one sold for $50. Good little sale. One more thing I was gonna add about this item. Sometimes when I'm at the bins and you got like a pretty full cart, picking up these heavy items is good because you can get to 50 pounds and get the discount based on your weight. So usually when you're at the bins, there's discounts based on like how much weight you have. So if you hit 50 pounds at my location, you get a discount in price. So when I have like a good day, which is almost always, like I'll purposely pick up heavy stuff like this so I can get the discount. So instead of paying $2 a pound, I'm paying $1.50, or I think, yeah, that's the price. So something to note about the heavier item, which a lot of people shy away from at my bins, which is cool with me. I'll gladly pick them up. Okay, this next one is not a crazy sale, but it's just something that like I figured I'd share with you guys because everyone at the bins literally passed on all of these items. So I had a bin, I was scraping around, and this is why it pays to scrape when you're at the bins. Literally I probably got like 6 or 7 of these, and this is like Russell Athletic. Like it's a pretty mid-tier brand, but like it sells great. People love these made in USA ones. But yeah, this one's size small. It's more of a cropped and boxy fit, which is great keywords. For the title on this one, we put vintage Russell Athletic purple crew neck sweatshirt small USA boxy fit. And then for the aesthetics, we put Y2K gym core, norm core basics, downtown casual, and minimalist streetwear. Pretty simple little sale here. Like I posted this one how many days ago? Literally 1 day ago, and it sold. So good little sale. Sold full price, obviously. Always nice when people aren't haggling you for the prices. But yeah, good little sale here. All right, the next one, this is something I'm sure all you guys are familiar with, but for those of you guys who aren't, obviously not everybody is on the same level, which is totally cool because the name of the game with reselling is always learning new things that sell. And like I said earlier, I love selling rugbies. This is a Polo by Ralph Lauren one. I actually wore this like twice. I found it at the bins. I was like, oh, I'll wear this. I wore it to church once, and then I think I wore it to like Easter, and then I stopped wearing it. So this was literally just sitting in my closet for like 6 months. So we're selling this one. We sold it for $26.99. I accepted an offer, had it up for 30. Somebody offered me, so I took the offer, and yeah, we sold this one $26.99. Probably paid like, again, like $1 or $2 for this one. That's why going to the bins is amazing. I love going to the bins. And yeah, also one thing I do want to say is that what's it called, a lot of people like make excuses like, yeah, dude, like the nearest bins is like an hour away. Like, I would love to go to the bins, but it's just too far. And like, I get everybody's different, but bro, I drive 2 hours to the bins, and sometimes I'll go 3 to 4 times a week, which you can do the math. It's a lot of driving. And all I'll say is, like, if you want to get good items, bro, like, you can't expect them to just come to you. Like, you have to work for it, bro. You don't get all these items, good items, by the way. Don't be picking up bad items. But you don't get all these good items just by like waiting. Like, nobody's gonna come and just give you a bunch of pieces for free, bro. Like, you gotta work for it, and nobody's coming to save you. Oh wait, dude, I also forgot. I did not tell you guys what I used for keywords. The title was Polo Ralph Lauren rugby shirt, L green cream collar, 100% cotton, 25.5 by 29.5. Dude, I put the measurements like 8 different times in my descriptions because like there's always gonna be people asking, yo, what are the measurements, bro? Like, when you clearly have it in there, but whatever. For aesthetics, we put preppy, soft preppy, old money, Ivy League, collegiate, tennis core, golf core, classic American style, downtown, norm core, and vintage 90s. So tons of aesthetics. Again, always keyword spamming those. Okay, guys, the next one, this one's kind of like ugly and disgusting. Somebody just gave me this for free because they did not want it. So I was like, yeah, sure, dude, I'll take it. But bro, this is kind of nasty and disgusting. Somebody did buy it like I figured they would. And yeah, honestly, like, the worst thing you can do as a reseller, and like, I'm guilty of doing this because it's just who I am, but like, don't judge other people's styles, bro. Like, that's one thing I learned, is do not judge people's styles, because as a reseller, you need to be able to appreciate every style. And like, now I obviously do appreciate every style. When I first started, I was like, bro, like, why are you putting that in your cart? That is hideous. Like, bro, you have to, as a reseller, be able to adapt to all these different styles and trends in order to be as successful as possible. And so, like, dude, even if something you think is ugly, bro, somebody's gonna think that is drip, and that is awesome. If you can find other people's drip, then good for you. That's your job as a reseller. So that's one thing I just want to preach about, is to, like, bro, don't catch yourself, like, if you catch yourself judging, it's cool. Just be like, oh yeah, bro, like, somebody's gonna find this hard. And yeah, dude, honestly, like, that's the coolest part about reselling, is like, if literally anybody can come into your store and find something they want, like, bro, that is so cool. That means you are very successful, because literally anybody can find stuff that they think is cool in your store. That means you're doing a good job. All right, so the next item that we have, this is another one that is very nice. We have a jockey made in USA, 100% cotton, polka dot-esque sweater. This one I could have got more for, and I think that I made a mistake by discounting this one so much. I don't think I realized it when I did it, but it is what it is. You're gonna do that sometimes. But yeah, vintage jockey, polka dot knit sweater, L was the title. And then for aesthetics, we put 80s, 90s, vintage, grandpa core, norm core, minimalist, retro, cozy core, ivy prep, indie sleeves, soft grunge, vintage knitwear. Now like that description is probably pretty long, and you know, it works because this item sold. But yeah, dude, good little sale here. Nothing insane, but yeah, dude, good stuff to be on the lookout for. The vintage knits. All right, guys, the next set is something that I've had for a while, and I've discounted it. I guess people just didn't see the vision that I saw, which is totally cool. But yeah, this is a very nice vintage Pendleton wool cardigan in a great size, very grandpa vibes. But yeah, this one sold for $25. I took kind of a out there offer. I had it up for $35, but nobody was biting, and sometimes that happens. But like, obviously when your cost of goods is low, like, it really doesn't mean a whole lot to like accept a lower offer. But for the title, we put 60s, 70s Pendleton gray wool grandpa cardigan XL, and then for the styles, we put grandpa retro preppy cottage core norm. Probably could have put a couple other aesthetics in there. Maybe that's why it didn't sell. But yeah, this one was up for probably like 4 months, and in the last 4 months I've really worked on my keyword knowledge, and so maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't sell at full price. Maybe if I listed it now, I could have got more for it, but it is a learning experience at the end of the day. And that's, again, I keep saying it, bro, but like the most important thing about reselling is just learning as much as possible. Because when you're your own boss, bro, like you really make the amount of money that you deserve to make, and you deserve to make more money when you learn more things. So that's one thing that I've learned in the past couple of years with reselling. So yeah, good little sale there. All right, chat. And then this is the last order of the day. These last 3 orders came through in the last like 20 minutes. So sometimes that happens. But I wasn't planning on showing this one, but I guess I will. Very mid, Tennessee Titans, Nike jacket. This one sold for $21.35. It's got the little Titans logo on the bottom there. Kind of cool. Again, not a crazy sale, but for the title, we put 90s Nike team Tennessee Titans jacket made in Korea, men's XXL. And then for the aesthetics, we put vintage sportswear, streetwear, Y2K retro, nostalgic utility, locker room, 90s court, Americana fan wear. So couple of keywords that y'all can use. And I would encourage y'all, like, go back in this video if you so please, and kind of like take note of the styles and aesthetics that we've been using. And like, obviously these are all sales, so they work, but also like if you want to like do some deep diving research, maybe go to my depop and like scroll through and look at my different keywords. Maybe some of you guys already do that, maybe some of you don't. That might be somewhere to start if you're newer and kind of looking at how I structure my titles and descriptions. But with that being said, bro, if you want to learn how to use AI to streamline your descriptions, which is what I do, join the paid community on YouTube. I think you just have to join me as a member. It's like $4.99 or something like that. Totally worth it, bro. If I could recommend you guys to do something that will just absolutely transform your business, it would be to join the YouTube Premium. I think you just join as a member. I think that's what it's called. So become a member, if that makes sense. But yeah, bro, I like do a video where I explain how I use AI to just make everything so much faster. Because I remember when I was starting, bro, it was a chore to just sit down and just do all my descriptions, bro. It would take forever. But now I can literally knock out 100 listings in a day, no problem. Oh, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love all y'all. I will see y'all in the next one.